today's video, we are talking about the evolution of the beautiful Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron is a hugely successful and influential singer and actress who has starred in shows such as Liv and Maddie, Descendants, Shameless, and Vengeance. There's absolutely no denying that Dove is absolutely stunning. However, not unlike a lot of other influencers and celebrities, Dove has actually had a pretty huge physical transformation. This is what she looked like when she was younger, and as you can see over the years, she slowly morphed her facial features into looking less like this and more like this. In society today, and especially in Hollywood, which Dove is a part of, there is this insane pressure to glow up, to mold yourself to fit these unrealistic beauty standards. And basically, these beauty standards are to look like a human Bratz doll. I feel like Dove used to subscribe to these beauty standards, and she did indeed morph her face into looking a little bit more like a Bratz doll, with the big eyes, the tiny nose, the huge pouty lips, the high plump cheekbones. But now, I feel like Dove is turning her back on it, and I am here for it. Now, Dove Cameron was a child star. She was working for Disney, and as we've seen in the past, child stars can end up with a lot of issues. Being a child star essentially means being bossed around and controlled by those who stand to make a lot of money off you. There have been lots of child stars who have confessed that their talent bosses would control their diets, their body, their weight, their size, any tweakments or surgery they had to essentially mold the child into becoming a big star. Dove herself says that growing up as a Disney star, she had a lot of trauma. She says, "I entered the industry really young. I had a lot of self-hatred, a lot of trauma." However, now it seems like Dove is totally rebelling against that, totally turning her back on that. And as she grows up as an adult human woman, and she no longer has to subscribe to the quintessential child Disney star, and she's no longer under the thumb of big bosses, she's finally able to come into her own, control her own look to her taste, and express her own personality through her looks. And that doesn't necessarily mean looking like the beauty standard. For Dove, I think that means dyeing her blonde hair dark, going for a high fashion arty look, not looking typically pretty, and instead dressing and expressing herself in a way that is more high fashion meets punk rock. It's cool, I like it, it's different. The transformation that Dove has had in her career is more than aesthetic. Dove, since growing up and stepping away from Disney and her child actress role, has been on a journey of personal discovery. And I think she's trying to find out who she really is inside and what she stands for and what she believes in. That can be really hard for a former child actor, as basically their whole lives they've been told what to do, what to say, what to look like, totally controlled, which is why so many end up with so many issues. Dove has been open and honest about the fact that now she's starting to take risks with her career and her look. And after coming out publicly in 2020 as bisexual and queer, both terms she has used to describe herself, although she doesn't particularly like labels, she says that she has learnt a lot more about herself. Dove describes the change in her appearance as, "I've gone from the girl next door to the bad girl next door," which, don't get me wrong, does not mean that Dove has gone au naturel. Once you change your bone structure, like you have a nose job or your chin shaved down or cheek fat removal, all of which Dove is rumored to have had, you can't undo it. But there are some areas that you can reverse, such as lip filler. I think it looks like Dove has toned down the lip filler, and instead of the typical Kylie Jenner huge pouty lips look that was so popular for so long, she's now opting to go for a more toned down look. Her lips are back to looking more like their original size, and instead she's going for a prominent Cupid's bow. Quite reminiscent of the popular lip look back in the 1920s, where smaller lips with a noticeably pointy Cupid's bow was in. Isn't it funny how beauty standards and trends come and go? I think that soon the big pouty lip filler look will be out of fashion, and everyone will get their lip filler dissolved, and we'll all be trying to make our lips look smaller again. That would be interesting. Here's another rather interesting thing to note about Dove's facial evolution, if you will. Dove has always had a lovely round face. She has full cheeks and that angelic look about her, which she has always emphasized. It's long been rumored that she may have actually undergone dimple surgery, which sounds wild, but it is a done thing. And considering Dove has obviously undergone lots of other tweakments, it wouldn't surprise me, especially considering in her younger photos it seems that she didn't naturally have them. What's curious to note is that now the dimples seem to have gone, along with the full cherubic face, and now Dove is the proud owner of super sharp, chiseled, high fashion, high cheekbones that are all the rage right now. The cheekbones of Lea Michele, Bella Hadid, Zoe Kravitz, Sophie Turner, that kind of look. In my last video on the buccal fat removal trend, I mentioned that I personally think, and I could be totally wrong, but I think that Dove may have undergone this surgery too, which I still stand by, as your facial bone structure doesn't usually change that dramatically in just a few short years as an adult. Dove's cheeks have gone from being plump and full to hollow, which definitely points to buccal fat removal surgery. Another thing I've noticed in her aesthetic evolution is that not only have her cheeks changed, but her whole face shape seems to be different. Me, as a non-professional, I put it down to perhaps a chin implant or chin filler to make her face appear more diamond in shape. This look is actually very reminiscent of K-pop beauty standards, which is so popular right now. So maybe this is the look that Dove is going for now. I just find it really interesting how when beauty standards change, influencers and celebrities and models' facial evolutions kind of change along with them. We can't ignore the fact that Dove is hugely influential, so I love the fact that she's stepping away from that typical unrealistic beauty standard, fitting yourself into the mold kind of look, and she's totally doing her own thing. She's exploring how she feels about her looks, who she is as a person, in her career, and I have to commend her for that. It's not easy to step outside of the box, totally turn your back and rebel against everything you've ever known and everything you've ever been taught and take a different direction. So I think this is one evolution that is really interesting to watch.